Welcome back, guys, to Curious Food. Today, I'm going to challenge Magnus to a little bit of a...
I did the challenge last week.
Well, yeah, but we're going to... Just calm your horses. You get it. You get it. We're going to challenge his taste buds. We're going to give him something that not everyone enjoys, which is actually a sauce made from blue cheese. However, how are we going to serve this? We're going to make gnocchi. Gnocchis are small potato-based pasta balls. It is delicious and it's gonna take a little bit of time to cook. However, the first thing we gotta do, gotta boil our potatoes. Get yourself some large russet potatoes, just the biggest you can get. Now, these has got to boil until they're completely soft all the way through, and then we peel them afterward. Just put your potatoes in and then fill them up so that it covers all the way up with water. Now, just put them to boil and let them simmer for about 30 to 45 minutes. Check on them once in a while just to make sure that they're all the way done. Welcome back, guys. Our potatoes have been cooking for about 45 minutes. They're completely done. And then, oh my God, those were hot. And I think they're a little bit overdone. Hopefully that'll not be a problem. You know what, let's just do this. Whew. As you can see, it's already like flopping all over the place. So a little bit overcooked. These are hot. So I'm gonna use a fork here just to get rid of all the skin, because we don't need that. You want as little moisture as possible when you're making gnocchi. Oh my God.
Gnocchi, is that Japanese?
No, it's these are Italian. So according to my dad, this is like a housewife staple. So you're not a real housewife unless you know how to make real gnocchi.
All right, we're gonna get to see if Martin is a real housewife.
Yeah. And you update to my Tinder profile.
Oh, you know I'm gonna put that in there, you know that.
Yeah. Now we have our boiled potatoes. Now we need to crush them up, and I'm gonna be using a potato ricer. If you don't have one of these, they're like gigantic garlic presses. You can just mash it up with your fork, but by using this, it will give you like a very fine mesh. Oh, that was fun.
Looks like string cheese.
Yeah, it kind of does. You wanna try?
Oh, that is so satisfying. Out of curiosity, how much is one of these potatoes?
Not much. You can probably get it for about 10 bucks.
That is cool.
Let's see if we can find like an Amazon link. So this thing you can use for mashed potatoes, you can use them for sweet potatoes, you can use them for anything that you want to create a puree. All right, guys, now we're gonna mix these up and actually make some gnocchi. First of all, get a whole egg. And we're just gonna mix this all together. And then we're gonna watch Magnus's face as I'm gonna dump all of this right on his table.
Okay.
And so I'm not gonna tell you how much flour to put, because I don't know. We're gonna need to mix it and mix in the flour until we get a dough that's a little pillowy, but that's relatively dry so that you can actually work with it. There's a lot of liquid in that. It's very mushy. It's still quite hot, so it's gonna be a little bit, difficult to work with. What you can do now is let this cool for about 20 minutes, and that will make it a lot easier to handle because it's gonna be very hot. It's gonna be very sticky. But we're gonna do it now anyways, because, we're cool like that. Inspector Gadget. All right, now all of our bread mix or our potato mixture. There we go. Let's get mixing. I'm gonna add just a little bit extra here to my hands. And then we're just gonna mix through our flour. Just be gentle at first, but you do want to knead this dough together so that it coheres, becomes one giant mass. As you can see, it's very wet still. So yeah, add some more flour. And now we just continue kneading and continue that process until we feel that we've gotten a good bouncy dough. You need quite a lot of flour for this to work. And the dough needs to be quite dry. If you look at this dough, it's very sticky and it'll stick to your fingers quite heavily. This is way too dry, or way too wet. We need it a lot drier.
I'm actually a little bit mind blown because first you made the potato look like cheese and now you made it look like, just
pasta dough, too much.
I just see dough, period.
Yeah.
Looks like you're baking.
Well, I guess I am in a way. So as you can see here, still getting a little bit of wetness, but even Magnus recognized that this is starting to come together and it looks like a regular dough. But we're still not there yet, we need a little bit more. Just keep kneading until you get the consistency that you're looking for. Now, the more you knead this, the tougher the gnocchis are gonna get. And I do like a little bit of a chew to my gnocchi, but some people might like it a little bit more puffier and lighter. So that's up to you. And one way to get this, like, to mix it together faster is just adding a lot more flour in the start so that you don't have to do what we're doing now, which is add a little bit by a little bit by a little bit. I'm doing that because that gives me a little bit more control about like the consistency of the dough. And I think we're starting to get there now. And then if I do this, you see it's springing back a little bit as you're pushing down. That's consistent with what we're looking for. All right, so let's get a little bit of flour on our desk just to help us working with the dough. I want to cut this dough in 4. Put that there. And then I'm just gonna be working with 1/4 of the dough at the time, all right? Get a little bit of flour on it. And then we're gonna roll this out into a long sausage. It wasn't as willing to get into the shape I wanted to. All right, so you want about 1 inch thickness here, about 1.7 centimeters across, around this big. You can make it smaller, you can make it bigger. It's all up to how you want the shape of your gnocchi to be. Now get a bench scraper or anything to cut the dough. I'm just gonna use this pizza wheel here. I'm gonna grab just a little bit of flour and dab it on the pizza wheel to get it to not stick to the dough. And then I'm gonna cut them, again, about 1 inch apart. So these are our gnocchis. So as mine are a little bit squished, I'm just gonna squish them a little bit back, get them to be nice and round again. And then we're gonna actually form them a little bit so that they can pick up a sauce a little bit better. Take your gnocchi and press it against a fork. Press it over again. Now you've got these nice little tag here and a little bit of a divot on the other side to pick up our sauce. Now these can now be frozen down and you can serve them up whenever you want. Just boil them, stick them in a fryer.
Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Do whatever you want with them. They are quite like dainty in the fact that it's not very hardy. You do have to be a bit careful here. You can squish this and destroy it completely. Just be a little bit, careful with them and it'll be fine. This is one of those things where you can always make them better. So like after 20 times of making them, then you might have gotten to, the stage of being an Italian housewife. I just want them to, while I'm storing these, I want them to have a little bit of flour on them so that they don't dry up and so that they don't stick to the table. And that is it. Now they don't look perfect, but they don't need to be. All right, guys, we're very nearly ready to make and cook our gnocchis. However, before that, I'm gonna make a sauce for it. Now this is where I think I'm gonna challenge Magnus a little bit because we're using blue cheese. And I don't know if he likes blue cheese at all. All right, so we're gonna start with some heavy cream into a saucepan. Use the entire thing, right? And bring this up gently to a simmer. You don't want it to boil, so medium to a medium-low heat, and then just spend the time whisking it until it's really hot. Then we're gonna whisk in about half of this blue cheese, a little bit of black pepper, and some nutmeg. All right, so I'm just gonna whisk the heavy cream gently while it comes up to a boil, and then we're gonna add the cheese after that. Like the blue cheese is such a distinct flavor, but when you put it in a sauce with heavy cream with lots of pasta, it's delicious.
I'm curious, I want to try the blue cheese raw.
Well, let's try it now.
Oh, that looks so nasty. I regret my curiosity.
So this is gonna be very, very heavy. That's special, huh?
Oh my God, people eat this?
Yeah, and you're gonna too.
I mean, it started out fine,
But it's
and then it just hit me.
So that's, whoa! That went from nothing to everything in like 2 seconds.
Sort of like the cheese.
Yeah, sort of like the cheese. Clean up on aisle 2. I was having too much fun looking at you, so I wasn't looking at the milk. All right, so carefully bring this up to a boil. I'm gonna use half of this amazing cheese here that Magnus loved so much. We could use the entire bit of it, but let's give Magnus a chance to actually liking this.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it's about half. A little bit more than half, maybe?
Yeah, let's save the rest for a snack later.
Yeah.
You would do that though, wouldn't
Actually,
you?
no. Blue cheese is one of the cheeses that I don't particularly like to eat on its own. I do love it in sauces, but for me, it also becomes too heavy. But there are a lot of differences. There are blue cheeses that are very mild, and there are blue cheeses that are very heavy, like this one. Okay, while this is coming up to a boil and mixing that together, I'm also gonna add quite a lot of black pepper. Can you smell this now?
Yeah, it doesn't smell
Too bad, right?
no.
No, because it's a lot more mellow now with the... And then, for a final touch, we're gonna grate in some fresh nutmeg. Oh, that smells good. All right, so this is completely done. I'm just gonna put it to the side on our stove here and just put it on like the lowest possible heat. All right, guys, I got my water boiling. I got everything ready. Let's get ready. First of all, let's warm up our pan here because we're gonna boil and then fry our gnocchi. I'm gonna take a couple. Let's start with one portion, which I would say is between 6 and 10. Throw them right into the boil. I'm gonna swirl the gnocchis a little bit in the water just to make sure they don't stick, and they should be ready when they start floating. If you have like a hand sieve, this would be so much easier. There we go, there we go. Then straight into a hot pan. All right, and what we want here is to get these to fry up and have some color on them on both sides of the pan. And what you can do if you don't want to flip them each individually, and then flip them, and then flip them. That way you can flip them quite easily without having to, you know, try and flip every single one at a time.
Already getting a little bit of color.
Yeah, doesn't take a lot of time. I'm actually going to increase the heat here because I want the color to come a little bit faster because, you know, our gnocchis are almost done with their second fry or second boil, second batch. Ooh, see, now you're getting some nice color right there. This is about the color that you want on each and every one of them. And now I'm doing what I'm setting that you don't have to do, which is flip each and every single one individually. Okay, I think that's going to be it for these. Put that over there.
Question, why boil them first?
Because if you just fry them, I mean, the flour isn't cooked. It'll just, if you just fry them, it'll just be raw flour inside. I'm gonna add a little bit more oil because I don't want them to fry in a dry pan.
I'm assuming you can also use butter.
Yeah, whatever you want. Just know that whatever type of fat you use, that flavor will get infused into the gnocchi.
I kind of want to steal one.
Try it out.
Oh, wow. I like these. I'm a fan. Reminds me of pancakes.
Yeah, actually a little bit. Small potato pancakes almost, yeah. Now with a little bit extra butter, some salt and pepper.
I can imagine bacon.
Ground cheese salt. Yeah, of course.
If you were to coat these in sugar, you would have a pretty good snack.
Next time, guys. Almost looks like a churro or something. I think Magnus just found his new favorite.
You gotta try it. You gotta try it.
I'll try it. I try it when I'm done. I'm trying to focus here on getting this.
Oh my god. This is unhealthy already, and I'm gonna start putting sugar on it. Whoa!
God. That's the second time today.
That is the second time today.
You're gonna get that on camera, aren't you? Well, at least we know that he likes it. These became a lot less potato flavor than I thought they would, though. Which means there might have been too much flour, maybe? I don't know.
But earlier you said there was probably not enough flour.
Yeah, I know, because of the feeling. And then the taste here, it tastes more like pillowy pancakes.
This is probably the kind of food that's going to taste a little bit differently every time you make it.
Probably, yeah.
Absolutely great. Without the sauce?
Like, I think it's freaking delicious. Get like this much on one of them.
Do like a proper...
Oh yeah, pour it all over.
All right, let's see. It's just really, really bitter and weird.
Mm-hmm. It's not like anything else.
Well, that was, what did you call it?
Gnocchi.
And see you next week.
Enjoy.